Hello. Let me start first with a land acknowledgement. I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the first people of Seattle, the Duwamish people, past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Duwamish tribe. This is the way the Duwamish tribe wants to be recognized, and this is the source for it. Um, so, in this video, I will talk about how to learn better. I will give you specific techniques that you can use right now. So, the first one is here. So, what you need to do right now is first halt everything and be present. So, take out any distraction that you have, any uh, telephone or whatever is going on in the background. Stop it. Empathize with the speaker and author. That is me. So think about, what am I trying to do? How am I approaching this topic? Anticipate enthusiastically. So be in the mode that, hey, you're going to learn something great. So be in that mode when you're listening, and at the very end, review what you heard or read. This is the here tactic, and reviewing at the end is super crucial because it will help you see what's missing and go back if you need to. um, um, I want to credit a lot of the tips and techniques here to these three books, and especially the Be Faster comes from Limitless. um, the Teach how students how to learn by Dr. McGuire. This is also related to the studying mathematics extra credit reflection that you might want to do. It's a 45-minute lecture by Dr. McGuire, and I think it's super useful and it could help you together with what I'm going to talk about today. I like to put everything that we will do today in this acronym: Be Faster. B stands for believe, E for exercise, F for forget, A for act, S for stay, T for teach, E for enter, and R for review. That's essentially a summary of the video here. Okay, B for believe. So the first thing you need to do is believe in yourself. Ask positive, dominant questions. Think about, what is one question that you're asking yourself right now? What is some underlying question you always ask yourself? Why can't I? uh, Why can't I be good at math? Or what's what are why am I'm not learning fast enough? Anything like that. Stop all those questions and reframe them. How can I learn better? What can I do to change and take positive steps? I really like this quote. And you ask, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? See how that changes the perspective here. Do that. Take a look at all these other quotes here, and research a little bit about self-compassion. Self-compassion is really a replacement for self-confidence or self-esteem that could have uh, much more uh, benefit effects without all the negatives that come from self-confidence. Um, a second point here is that, talent, genius is grown and not born. Um, you should attribute results to action, not ability. Um, if it's very common that you think of yourself as stupid or not good enough uh, when you fail to do something, but in fact you should be analyzing your actions that led to that result and how could you improve those. It's not about what you are or who you are, it's about what actions did you take to make that happen. Okay, E is for exercise, but I also eat. A healthy mind in a healthy body comes to mind. It's super important that you are healthy, and there's some benefits here that are listed for both, and I encourage you to read those later. Um, Rest and do fun things. This is also super important. If you don't have enough rest and don't have fun things in your life, then you're gonna pretty quickly spiral into negativity and not and less productivity. F stands for forget. Forget your limitations, what you can do and what you can't do. Forget what is not urgent. Um, if something is going on right now, just put it away, set it aside, forget about it. And then lastly, forget what you know. This might sound strange, but think about kids, how they learn. They're like empty vessels. They learn so well because they don't know much. They don't have any assumptions beforehand. Everything they learn is new and exciting. So if you forget what you know temporarily, you might learn more. Also, in math in particular, sometimes what happens is that we learn something incorrectly, maybe some algebra rule or step or procedure. And then because of that, when we're trying to learn something new, that sort of gets in the way because you can't really connect it to the new things that you're learning because you already know something is wrong beforehand. And so you have to somehow remove that wall first to get to that knowledge. I really like this quote. Take a look and read it. Um, A stands for act. Learning is not a spectator sport. This is what Einstein said. I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. Uh, Learning is a lot about you, as not about passively sitting in a lecture, for example, and hearing, uh, waiting to be filled with knowledge. Uh, how do you act? Play, wonder, and struggle are a crucial key to your success. So you want to be uh, playing with the topic that you're about to learn. How do you play with mathematics, for example? Look at the in-class activity questions. Try to answer those questions without having done any of the reading, any of the you suppose you don't know that topic at all. How can you figure out those questions? Is there a way that you can do it even without that concept that you're about to learn? Uh, Wonder about new ways to do something and struggle with it. If you don't do that, take at least an hour to do that before the start of the week for anything that you're going to learn that week. If you do this, then you will have a lot of questions that need answers, and questions are really the answer. What do I mean by that? Because that if you have questions in your mind when you're listening, you are going to be focused on answering those questions. You're not going to listen without a purpose, and you're not going to read something without purpose. If you have questions in the back of your mind, that will help you a lot. Practice previewing and active recall. What do you mean by previewing? If you're gonna do a reading, take a look at the summary, the pictures, the boxed content, anything that stands out. Take a look at it. Ask questions about it. Uh, and active recall is like whenever you read something, see if you can say it in your own words. At the end of the video, pause and reflect and paraphrase what I said. Concept map, compare and contrast are also really awesome things to keep in mind. The study cycle is presented by Dr. McGuire in that Studying Mathematics video. Take a look at it. Go watch the presentation if this makes you interested. Concept maps are also discussed by Dr. McGuire, and compare and contrast. If you have two topics that are similar but also different, it's helpful to do this kind of thing. Think, for example, dot and cross product. State, smile and wonder. So when you're be excited, curious, joyful, fascinated. Sit and change posture as if you're about to learn the most crucial, life-changing information. If you're learning, lying down and not really being bored and not paying attention, and you're not gonna learn much. Your state of being is super important, and you have control of that. Put a smile on your face. It's not even if it's fake, it will make you learn better. You don't have to be rigid like this girl on the picture on the right here, but uh, do do think about that. T stands for teaching. Learn with the intention to teach later. To think about you're going to teach it to your kids. You're going to create a presentation or a review session. Do it. Say you're learning about a topic. See if you can put up a presentation, a way to explain it to others in a way that makes sense. Perhaps differently than the material that you're studying from. Hold a study group meeting. Talking with others and practicing with others is super important. And strive for higher in Bloom's taxonomy. In college, most questions are in the middle of Bloom's taxonomy. And so if you're not there, you need to strive for going there. That's very different than high school, which is in the bottom two levels of Bloom's taxonomy. Aim for 100% learning. Don't leave any gaps in your knowledge. E stands for enter. Enter it in your calendar. Important things, make it there. Schedule 20 to 25 hours per week for your own growth and development. Schedule rest and fun too. Put it in your calendar right now. When are you gonna learn? Have it there. R stands for review. Actively recall what you learned with spaced repetition. So when you after you a lecture or a video or a homework assignment, go back to it later the next day. See if you really know how to do those questions again. If you understand what the theory is, can you paraphrase it? Teach it to somebody else, right? Think about doing that again on day three. And it doesn't have to take too long. You can just take 5 or 10 minutes to do it. Just recall what happened the other day. Do this 3, 4 times, and then that learning curve will go away and it will be ingrained in your brain. Um, Organize study groups for reviewing. Uh, Again, talking with others and helps a lot. Create practice tests and test yourself. If you can solve questions, it's great. But if you can create questions, that then you really know that you know what you're supposed to know, because you can create a question. If you can create a practice test and test yourself with a timer and whatever your test conditions are, then it will lessen the anxiety as well for that test coming up. Do not do homework once and don't go back for it. Cramming doesn't work. If you just are studying the day before the challenge, that's not a good thing. Um, Analyze all feedback and develop a plan to improve. Look at the instructor's feedback. Um, okay. Lastly, there's a few methods that come directly for Dr. McGuire's presentation that I want to quickly show you here, but you can review this later in the PowerPoint. This one is a pretty good one. Uh, and also, there is lots of academic success center will help you if you want to take a look at this information. What strategy will you use in the next 3 weeks? If you don't try it within the next 48 hours, you probably never will. Take a look at this quote as well.